Congratulations. You've just come across another insanely intense, adrenaline-pumping thriller. Whether you love shocking twists or pure action-packed moments, is an absolute must-watch that delivers on every level. Adapted from the hit game, it recreates iconic scenes almost one-to-one, with details that hit even harder emotionally than the game itself. One day, Joel is crouched at the top of a watchtower, when he suddenly hears a strange noise in the distance. He quickly raises his rifle and looks through the 8x scope. His pupils instantly shrink. What he sees becomes a nightmare he will never forget for the rest of his life. Now in the world, they're coming. They just are, infected 5 minutes out. This group of infected is brutally savage. They run at speeds comparable to a professional sprinter, charging straight toward the survivors' settlement. Inside the base, Tommy hears the alarm and immediately shouts for the women and children to hide in the basement. The men grab their weapons and rush to the walls, preparing to fight. 3 months earlier, they had already sensed disaster was approaching. Tommy orders the elderly and the weak to hide in the cellar, while the remaining men stand ready on the city walls. At this moment, the Horde is advancing at an astonishing speed. Only 200 meters remain. Everyone grips their weapons tightly, bracing themselves. As the pounding footsteps grow louder, a suffocating tension fills the air, making everyone's heartbeat race uncontrollably. Seeing that the number of infected far exceeds their expectations, Tommy gives the order: push all the prepared gasoline barrels off the walls. Against a massive horde like this, fire is the most ruthless weapon. They shoot the barrels open, and gasoline quickly spreads across the snowy ground. When the infected crowd beneath the walls, someone decisively throws a torch. Flames instantly engulf the entire area. The infected let out piercing shrieks within the blaze. The scene is both brutal and strangely satisfying. Watching the sea of fire wipe out the horde, the people on the walls finally breathe a sigh of relief. Even more perfectly done. Recently, launched a Ziyuan lottery for a 2026 welfare subsidy event. Many people say it's fake, but it's actually real. Someone even posted proof of receiving the payment just minutes ago. The process is simple. Click the link in the lower left corner, tap the lottery button, and if a 2026 RMB pop-up appears, you've won. Not many people know about it yet, so hurry and try your luck. But before they could even recover from the last wave, they looked outside and saw that the blizzard had brought even more infected. Even worse, these infected seemed to have developed intelligence. They no longer charged blindly. Instead, they attacked in waves, deliberately targeting the weak points of the town walls. Rivertown was a closed settlement, but medicine and supplies were limited. If this defensive line were breached, they would have no choice but to retreat into the town and make their final stand. The infected were simply too many. Some managed to cross the sea of flames, stacking on top of one another and climbing toward the walls. The defenders fired wildly, desperately trying to stop the assault. Upstairs, Ellie immediately opened fire to draw attention away from Tommy, but in her panic, she ran the wrong way and became trapped in an alley. Behind her, a massive brute approached step by step. With no other option, Tommy raised his flamethrower and made a last stand. Flames engulfed the brute, and the air filled with the smell of burning flesh. Just as the monster seemed about to be roasted alive, the flamethrower ran out of fuel. At the very moment they thought they were done for, the towering brute suddenly collapsed. In the end, through the coordinated effort of Ellie and Tommy, the base's defenses held. Looking at the wreckage scattered across the ground and their exhausted companions, Ellie remembered something Joel once said: "Living isn't just for yourself, it's for the people worth protecting." In this battle, some hesitated, some sacrificed themselves, but more chose to stand together. Perhaps the most terrifying thing about the apocalypse was never the infected, but losing the courage to fight side by side. And humanity survives despair, again and again, because someone is always willing to give their very last breath for others.